The Urbana Free Library has a new romance book club, but it's not your traditional book club. Here today with more information are Lindsay Taylor and Gretchen Webb. Welcome back to CI Living.
Thanks for having us.
All right, so what is unique about this book club?
Well, what's cool about this book club is that you don't have to read just one specific book. The idea is that you come, you learn about all different types of romance novels, and make some friends in the process.
That's great. So ultimately, you can choose any book you want. It just has to be a romance book.
Yes, exactly. And we're just here to talk about different titles, and there's all kinds of genres of romance, which Gretchen can tell us more about, but just to kind of learn what's out there and socialize.
All right, so what books do we have here today?
So today we have a selection of things that I really like to read. The one thing I really love about romance is there's so many different subgenres. You don't have to just be the typical Romeo and Juliet or people fall in love, end of story. There's lots of different things. We can have adventure and intrigue. So in this book, Raiders of the Lost Heart, think Raiders of the Lost Ark. Lots of fun, intrigue, lovers to rivals, and maybe back to lovers again. And then in our next book, we have romantasy. So this is for those folks who love some magic and maybe love fantasy with a little romance thrown in. So it's also a rom-com and has a lot of complex family drama.
So Payback's a Witch. I love even the title of this book, because to me, just the title grabs my attention, and it's like, is it sorcery? What is it? It looks like it has mysticism.
Yeah, the covers are getting really fancy in romance books. Romance is one of the most top-selling genres of fiction, and so you can tell they're trying really hard with some of the covers to catch your eye on them.
Nice.
They're really fun.
All right, and then what about this one?
So this is, in many of our different romance novels, we have many different characters, and our characters are unique. And this features a plus-size character, which sometimes you may not see in movies or in books, and is really starting to pop up a lot more. So this is a slow burn celebrity romance, a little bit to enemies to lovers too.
Okay.
And then in this next book, which is a favorite of mine, Get a Life, Chloe Brown. Chloe's trying to get a life, and she is using a lot of humor and trying to step out of her comfort zone and meet new people, and trying to get a life by trying new things. And there's a lot of heat in that. Some good slow burn.
Okay. So when you say heat, you mean like steamy romance, or
a slow to steamy.
Okay.
We get to steamy eventually, but there's a lot of anticipation.
Gotcha. Okay. And then what about this one?
And this is a really popular subgenre now that's coming out, is hockey and sports romances.
Okay.
So I was drawn to this book because if you were a teen during Dawson's Creek, this audiobook is narrated by Joshua Jackson, and that kind of and that pulled me into wanting to listen to this. But there is so many different hockey and soccer romances that are really popular right now.
Okay, so you've listened to this one. Tell me a little bit more about how this, what's going on in this book.
So what's going on in this book is a secret that the female character has that she is keeping from this man that she meets. She's met him a long time ago, and she is afraid to tell him. And so she's keeping this secret, and they're slowly building their romance together, and she's not sure when she should bring this up. And sometimes, maybe sooner better than later, but you'll have to read it to find out.
And where does hockey fit in?
Hockey fits in as the main character is a hockey player.
Okay.
And so it does take place in Minnesota, even though it's called Canadian Boyfriend. It starts off in the Mall of America, which probably many people have been to. So you can kind of put yourself in that place as you're starting to read it.
That's great. And which other of these books? Have you read any of these books?
I haven't read any of these, but I already told her backstage that I want to listen to Payback's a Witch, because that one looks like the best one.
I was going to say, of all of the ones, they always say don't judge a book by its cover, but I think you and I both have
exactly. This is the one I want.
Cover.
It's a lot of fun, and there are others that come after this book by the same author. So once if you like it, there will be more for you to keep reading and listening to.
Have you read this one?
I have read this one also.
So what's this? Tell us a little bit about that one.
So I read this quite a bit ago when it first came out, but it's a rom-com, complex family drama. Someone's coming back home after being gone for a long time, and someone that was in their life is back in it again. And so
that sounds like a Hallmark movie.
Yeah, it does. And one of the things we're going to do at the book club is kind of talk about those things that we love. So you don't have to have read something. Maybe you're just interested in romance and you're not sure what to read next. We'll have plenty of opportunity for people to write down their favorites. We'll have books to select from, and there will be lots of conversation about those little subgenres like sports and adventure.
Right. I had no idea that there were subgenres within romance, but can you tell me a little bit more about the book club? Like, when does it meet? Where does it meet? How often does it meet? And then also, you mentioned a little bit but like if I've read this book and you've read this book, how do we talk about that in a like non-traditional book club?
Yeah, so the first one is going to be this Monday, February 24th from 6 to 7 p.m. at the Urbana Free Library, and it's going to take place monthly. So for this first one, we're going to have a little quiz that you can take to kind of help identify which genres that you like, and some conversation starters so that everybody can start sharing some of their favorite titles, and also the opportunity to write down notes of some of the books that they've learned about so they can go check them out from the library.
And I'll be co-hosting with another colleague of mine, Robin, who's a big romance reader. And her and I are going to have a few selections to talk about to kind of get the conversation flowing. And then people can jump in with things that they like, or maybe they just want to come and listen and find their next read.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for sharing all of this information about all of these books with us. And if you want more information about the Urbana Free Library, you can visit us on the web at ciliving.tv after the show.